All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. And wow, what a Monday. And you know what? The excitement has just begun. Here, driving the bus with me is Inti. Inti, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, he's got a few words to say.
Yeah, of course. It's always wise to remember that this is not financial advice. This show is for entertainment purposes only, and Davinci knows exactly what he's doing with his money, so you should do your own research.
All right, cool, cool. With that said, yeah, today is a jam-packed episode, right? With lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff. Oh my God. Today we're going to be talking about the Fed, what the Fed did for this strong economy that doesn't need any help. And also we're going to do a little bit of Bitcoin TA, and then we're going to do something a little bit controversial. We're going to use some unverified tips on how to at the very least, right? Slow down the coronavirus. Um, I think these tips, some of these tips are going to be like obvious tips, like wash your hands, right? But yeah, there will be some new ones that you never heard of before later on in this show. So if you're interested in all of this information, please smash up that like button and hit subscribe. Right, we're almost at 70,000 subscribers. I'm really growing really slow on that one. Pretty surprised. But I would really appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button and push me over the 70,000 subscriber mark. Thank you very much. Okay, with that said, wow, let's begin with the Fed. Oh my God, I mean, wow, what a crazy situation. So the Fed came out last night in the second emergency cutting the rates down to zero. I mean, this is like super crisis time, and the market smells blood and has futures open gap down basically and stopped trading last night. So this is absolutely catastrophic. Um, there's so much going on here. I mean, what happened here is they're going to be printing $700 billion to purchase assets, of course. And then they're also going to be dropping the reserve rates down to zero. But now, before we get on to all of that, I wanted to put some shout outs to Mike Maloney, right? I was watching his episode, and he pointed out that I knew this, I heard about this before, but I didn't believe it. That the Fed um, basically follows the market and stuff like that on the 3 month treasuries. So the 3 month treasuries was already down at almost zero, right? Zero bound, right? The zero, at least at 0.25, right? And and he said that, look, the Fed's just going to cut all the way down to zero because this is the indicator. You can watch this whole video, and I suggest you do, and I have it linked in the description below, right? That he explains it very well. So check out this video and subscribe to his channel as well. But he's the one who called this the emergency cut, and as soon as he uploaded the video, that's when the cut it came out. It's very cool. So, anyways, yeah, another person we want to put a shout out to is Chris from mmCrypto. He talked about the reserve requirements ratios going down to zero. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of explanation about that and what it all means. Okay, so when you go to your bank and you want to borrow money from that bank, the bank does generally, and generally, this I'm saying generally because does not have, and I'll explain why I'm saying generally, does not have the ability to loan out unlimited amounts of money to anyone, right? They need to have in reserves a certain amount of money. So, for example, let's just say they have to have like a 10% reserve. So, if they want to loan out $1, right, they must have 10 cents in the bank to stored, right? And so that's the only way they can actually print up some money to loan to you. Right? Now, what the Federal Reserve has done is that if they want to loan out $1, they don't need to have any money in the bank in order to loan out that, print up that money and loan it to you. So in effect, if you wanted to borrow $8 trillion or $100 trillion, the bank can legally do so without any repercussions and give it to you, right? Just like that. Boom. There's no limit on how much they can lend to you. That's what that means. so yeah, you were thinking, well, wow, that's irresponsible, right? They're gonna figure out how to exploit that. Now, remember at the very beginning, I said, what did I said? Usually, right? It's in a sort of way, right? The banks already had the ability to go to zero with the reserve requirements, with overnight repos or overnight lending. What would they do is just basically do a little bit of a shuffling trick in order to allow them to continue loaning out more money than the reserves they had overnight. And that's how they basically did this, right? So, for example, they would loan out more money during the day, but then reshuffle with repo markets in order to hide off of their balance sheet that they had more loans than their reserve requirement allowed. Now, so effectively they were zero at zero for quite a long time, since the 1990s, when what's his name, Greenspan, allowed this to happen. Now, so right now, what it is so that they don't have to do that shuffling. So effectively, the repo markets that the Fed chairman had opened up for the banks, you're thinking, well, they can close that. Well, not quite. Yeah, they don't have to do any more overnight lending, but they they do have to continue. They have like they're doing like 3-month purchases now, repo purchases now. So those are going to continue, right? So that you can purchase. So let's just say your bank has bad assets on its balance sheet. They want to take that off the balance sheet so that the bank appears to be solvent. They can sell that to the Federal Reserve with a promise to buy it back, the bad asset back, at a later date, making them look healthy. So there you go. And that's the scam. Now, there's quite a lot of evidence. Hang on, let me. I forgot to pull this up. That the banks are completely insolvent, and I'm going to pull up this. Let me just bring up my Twitter feed. And here, let me just quickly move to my screen just so I don't forget. Like last few times that I did that. www.twitter.com, and I forgot to pull this up. I knew I was forgetting one thing. One of the things that the president said really stuck out at me, and I realized what the truth was, right? So how do you know when a politician is lying, right? Can everybody answer? Inti, can you answer that question? How do you know when a politician is lying?
The moment he opened his mouth, of course.
Exactly. Exactly. So here, let me. I want to play a small clip for you guys. Right. Let me just cue it up first, right? And oh, darn. Like, okay, so where is this video? Okay, hang on. Yes, you guys help me find this. I really appreciate it. On Twitter, a lot of people. Let me just bring up my screen. On Twitter, people help me find this video, and let me see if I can remember exactly where in the time. I think
Large
it's
gatherings.
right here.
Off. And most of all, if you are sick or
Let's see here. Okay. Make it bigger. Is this gonna play? Is it gonna play for me?
not feeling well, stay home. To ensure that working Americans impacted by the virus can stay home without fear of financial hardship,
I wonder.
I will soon be taking emergency action.
I don't think so.
Often used service best. For all Americans, it is critical
Okay.
for you to follow
I
the
don't have the right-
guidelines of your for workers who are ill.
I'm really sorry. I have the wrong
That we
area.
have put into place over the last 3 years. We have the greatest economy anywhere in the world by far. Our banks and financial institutions are fully capitalized and incredibly strong.
Okay, so if you have the strongest economy anywhere, right? Why do you need emergency measures? No, but that's not the real point. That's not the real piece of information that you should take away from there. Sorry. The real piece of information you should take away from that is that the banks are strong and fully capitalized. That means, really effectively, you should go to your bank today and withdraw cash you need to pay bills over the next 2 months. Just saying. All right. I'm not saying that that hey, the banks are going to collapse tomorrow, but yeah, you might want to do that. Get cash. That's all I'm saying. Right. We already know how to tell when a politician's lying. So I don't need to say any more. Right, Inti?
Yeah. keep it safe. Keep it safe.
What do they call? Has that ever happened in Argentina? You're from Argentina, right, Inti?
You're talking about the bank holiday?
Yeah. Have you ever? Has anything like this happened in Argentina where the bank said, hey, you know what? The government said everything's fine with the banks, and then what did they do shortly afterwards when they said everything's fine?
Boom, all banks closes. You
And?
have money in there, goodbye. They are not going to give you back.
Exactly.
In Argentina, that's called corralito. It means like, I don't know how it's called when you have the cows, the place you have.
Oh, corral.
Yeah, corral. And that is called in Argentina. Banks closes and goodbye.
Yeah. Okay.
People gets really mad, burn all banks.
Yeah.
1 year after, they are like, no problem.
Yeah.
Back again.
So there we have it. So there's some serious advice right there for you. I suggest you go ahead and do something about that. All right. I've noticed that my chat has died. The live chat for me. Do you have the live chat on your side, Inti?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Because I can't see what's going on in the live chat right now. So anyways, I'm going to let you deal with the live chat. Now, let's move on to our Bitcoin TA. Honestly, people, this is not good. This was not good last night. This is not good right now, right? With this candle here. We have, Jesus, more downside. And it's gut-wrenching because, like, the only thing I could see is short trades, short trades, short trades. That's all I see. And it's sad because I don't know how far this thing is gonna go, right? I'm looking at this broken trend line here, right? Broken trend line here, right? Another broken trend line, right? On the it looks like it's bouncing off this trend line. Oh God, thank God, right? That's something here, right? We're bouncing off this trend line here. On the dailies, right? On the hourlies too, right? Oh my God, this is some good news right here. Looking a little bit better, right? But it could be a bear trap here. All right, just shaking out the bears. I mean, basically, it's just the bull trap. Basically, it's a bull trap, and it's shaking out the bears, who are not strong, by bouncing off this trend line. Oh, that's so good. That is great to see. I did not see that coming. I was looking at the lower time frames, trying to find a trade, and there's only short trades everywhere. But still, I would look for the short trade, even on this bounce here. If I wanted to do a trade, let's just say I wanted to do a trade, right? looking at all of this. I'd go down to the 5 minute actually. Probably not a good suggestion for newbies here, and you should not be doing this. Right? The short trade. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's see here. Let's go to the top of the mountain there. Right? That deadly move down there. There's a little bit of, I saw a little bit of, there's a divergence here, which has been confirmed, which means we might get a little bit of upside happening here. Oops. So actually, the next trade would be probably a little bit of a long, right? Interesting. Do we have a W there for continuation trade? Let me take a look here. There's I would consider that a W with a breakout of this level. So if you want to do a continuation trade, which is kind of deadly here at this point, we could be a buyer at 38.2 if it rolls back to 38.2, which I think it will, because we have like three candles outside the band. I mean, the odds of that happening right now at this point is really high. But this looks good. This push looks really good. Right? And yeah, I would say we'd have to wait and see, basically. Wouldn't go into any kind of trade right now. It's kind of like out of the trading zone for me. I don't see anything else other than maybe, let's see here. We have to retest this 38.2 level all the way from that mountain. So we're going to come up here and see if we can break through. Failing that, yeah, it's lights out. Lights out. Lights out if we don't break 38.2. Yeah, so that's that. Looking at gold, right? Gold futures. I did have like a davo trade, and I noticed, actually, you know what? Let me go back to the, because I had a nice davo trade, which actually, there's a trade which I call double dip davo, because the davos, the way they work, you know what? I'm not going to go into what happened here, because you know what? I didn't have it set up. So the way my davos work is that if we cross the what's it called, the moving average of the let me see here. This is a mess here. Hang on, let me just see if I can make this better for you guys to see. That's not better. Let's see if I can edit this. Edit. Let me turn down the contrast maybe on the volume. Can I do that? That helps a little bit. A little bit, not much. Oh man, it's really hard to see here. But this davo, there's like a W here. You can see this W here. Right here, and then there's also a W down here, which allowed me to go, okay, on gold, I'm going to go along from this point, from this entry point, all the way up to take profits up here. But there's also, because the davo, if you don't cross this average moving line, it's called the double dip davo, where you flip it. You flip this particular risk to reward ratio on itself, like this, to make yourself to double dip the whole thing again. Basically, you flip the exact davo, like the same size, same everything, and same risk to reward ratio, which is 2 to 1. So let's just see here. Let me just move this. Do I have that right? There we go. So right here, you flip it on itself, and that's your take profits. There you go. It's It's called double dipping the davo, right? It works very well. About 60% of the time, the davo double dip works, meaning that you could take profits up here, and if you failed to get in the davo here, well, didn't you just flip it on itself? And then boom, you let me just I didn't move my let me just move my picture so you guys can see that. You didn't see that, but basically you can see over here I have a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, just like the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio here, almost, but just close enough. And so that's called a double dip davo, right? If you want to learn more about my davo, I have I have a free what's it called indicator that basically allows you points to where the davos is. It's not 100% on this one, only because I think this version. I wonder if this version has the yeah, this is an older version. I need to upgrade this. This is davo 2.0. I need 3.0. The davo 2.0 would have shown this one right here. Because it doesn't include more than 4. This one only counts 4 candles across, and sometimes it doesn't. The davo shows up in more than just 4. So yeah, this version is old. I needed to upgrade it, and that's why it didn't show up on this one. But yeah, you got to be careful with the davo, especially in the regular markets. What happens with the davo is a lot on the regular markets is that they stop you out, even though you're right. A lot, you can see. They're like, no, you're not coming. No, I'm not gonna let you get paid. No, and off you go, right? So you have to watch out for the davo on the regular markets. This is normal every day. This happens with the davo. Yeah, it does this over and over again. This short probably didn't work out. I can tell already because it was not 2-to-1. It said mark the short, so that this is where your entry was. It might have been there. Might have, because your stop loss would have been up here, and you might have been able to get in, get a short, get the short, but we'd have to measure that. Anyways, enough of that. I hope you learned something about my davo strategy and how to trade the markets with the davo. I might talk a little bit more about that in another day. Alrighty, let's talk about next is the coronavirus. The best place to find information that I trust is with Peak Prosperity and Chris Martinson. I think his videos are excellent and they provide basically the true information. And he takes, one of the things that I like is that he takes what the little information that's coming out, and then he makes the best guess hypothesis, and he does, and so far his best guess hypothesis have been correct. And so yeah, I think you should definitely follow him. Now here's a little interesting tidbit about this video that he published yesterday. Which is really about viral load. And what that means is that let's just say you're walking around on the street and one of those coronaviruses gets up in your nose, right? That's okay because it starts doubling every 4 hours, and this gives your body time before it actually gets to a high viral load, and then you start seeing symptoms. Right at somewhere like 4 days later or weeks later. In this case, right, it says 4 days later. But this is an example, right? And he was talking about this has nothing to do with the virus. He's just giving it as an example. But the current virus would be 2 weeks if you get a small viral load of this virus. With a small viral load, it'll take about 2 weeks or more to be symptomatic. Now, what that means is that your body will have a fighting chance to survive, to beat this virus back, if you start off with a low viral load. Now, where you will get a high viral load is when somebody sneezes on you. Somebody who's actually sick, really sick, sneezes on you and spews a large viral load on you. That's bad. That's very bad. That will increase your probability of you being hospitalized with this virus. So this is critical information that you need to know, and you should definitely check this out at on in Peak Prosperity here, and watch all of the previous videos as well, because he provides a lot of sound information, quality information. It's definitely worth you checking this out. All right. With that said, there's this new video going around, right? How to kill the virus. Now, a lot of people. Once I started showing this around to people that I know, close people, the immediate reaction was, "No, this doesn't work." And then I have to go and point out, right? There is evidence that this could work, right? And the reason why, because they provide values in this. They're saying that at 56 degrees Celsius in this video, they say at 56 degrees Celsius, the virus dies, right? Now, that's not 100% accurate. The reason why is they say, although the World Health Organization does point out and say, hey, look, heat at 56 degrees kills coronaviruses at around 1,000 units per 15 minutes quickly. Okay, so the problem is this was tested on SARS, which is a type of coronavirus. However, it's not COVID-19. So at the very least, the temperature of a sauna or this your blow dryer should be enough to slow down the virus, or if not kill it all. So yeah, this is good. This is not 100% verified information, and I'm a little concerned, right? That you know what, there's going to be a lot of Darwin Award handouts from all of you guys watching this thing, because using a blow dryer and water, not a good idea. Please do not do that in a bathtub. Please do not do that over a sink. Right? Right? And be careful with the water, okay? If you do try to listen to the advice of this video. I just see a lot of Darwin Awards being handed out. I just see it, right? Please don't be one of those people. Yeah, so be careful. If you have a sauna, I would suggest you use that instead, right? If your gym has like a steam room, right, you go and use that as well. I don't think the steam room gets up as hot as a sauna does. A sauna gets into the 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Sorry, I'm not a Fahrenheit kind of guy. But yeah, there is evidence that this is true. So I would suggest you try it, because anything you try to save your life is worth trying. It's not worth saying, wow, this doesn't work, this is garbage, I'm not going to do that, and not even try to save your life. I mean, this is your life you're talking about. You have to try something, right? Just do it. Make sure you do it in a safe manner, right? And I think that trying to because the hospitals, if there are hospitals that are inundated and you cannot get the treatment you need, you have to try something, right? You have to try something that will be less invasive. And I think this is less invasive than going to the hospital and getting intubated. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So with that said, the next bit of advice, of course, right, is if you watch this video, he always gives you the advice at what you should do at the end here. And let me just scroll through and find that. It's all right. Should have had that ready, but I did not. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is his list of advice? Okay, I guess I missed it. Well, anyways, of course, it's just basic stuff, right? You know, wash your hands, stay at home, try to avoid crowds, right, and so forth, right? And yeah, do what you can to basically the slogan is to slow down the curve, to flatten out the curve. Basically, what you don't want to do is be the first or the first person. It's okay to be the first or the last person to get the virus, but you don't want to be the person in the middle, unless our hospitals are not inundated. And so by reducing your chance of getting this virus, you will help the hospitals, because it takes about 2 weeks for you to recover inside the hospital should your case be severe. So try not to get this virus, so that you are not subjected to going to the hospital at the worst possible time. All right. All right. With that said, it's time for question and answer. It's been like 30 minutes. I've been blathering on. Wow. I'm not the kind of person who likes the sound of my voice that has to blather on forever and ever and ever. But, with this particular piece of information, I felt that I needed to say something to help people learn about what's going on and make the best choices. All right. With that said, let's get on to the questions and answers. And I'm sorry, but my chat window is just dead. Pop out chat. Let's see if I pop the chat out, will that work? Okay, go ahead, Inti. Do you have a question for me?
Yes. Let's see. So we have Philson and ask, is it still a good time to pick bottom on altcoins?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Yes, it is, because if you're pricing it in bitcoins, I think you'll see the whole market's going to come down with bitcoins, and so if they're coming down as faster than Bitcoin, of course they're going to lose value and priced in Bitcoin, and then you'll be able to pick up these altcoins priced in Bitcoins at a cheap value. Probably even cheaper than they would. Probably it's not as cheap as it would be in priced in dollars, of course, right? Of course, in dollars they're going to be like super cheap. But priced in Bitcoin, right? They're not the downward fall is not as high, and so you can use the charts to actually to get good value altcoins for the long run. And when we have our super bull market, it will be even that much more bullish because of the multiple failed altcoin seasons that we've missed out on. So eventually we're going to see a massive run, not just in Bitcoin terms, but also in dollar terms. So look out for that coming up. But of course, that's going to be a little bit ways down in the future, unfortunately. So consider that when you decide to buy your altcoins. All right, next question.
Okay, this is from Mr. Cat and says, sorry for the dumb question. There's no dumb questions here.
No.
Only mine. Why cash is king while Feds print more and more money and 0% interest?
It's a good question. That's not a dumb question. Basically, what's happening is that we're going through a deflationary environment. Asset prices are falling rapidly, and the reason why this is why the Fed is coming out to print, because they can't allow asset prices to fall. But this is not going to stop the asset prices from falling, because if you're not buying anything, the prices are going to fall in order to support, in order to get you to purchase them. So that's the way it is, right? So, for example, you're looking at Bitcoin and thinking, "Oh my God, it's going lower, so I'm just going to hold cash," right? And so you're not interested in buying assets like Bitcoin because, hey, prices are falling, and you want to see if they fall even further so you can get some cheaper prices. But there comes a point where you will realize that, hey, you know what, prices are cheap enough, and with all the flooded money, this will cause a very big explosion in the price. Don't know where the bottom is, of course, but we know that a bottom will come, and it will be very explosive when everybody tries to jump in with all their fiat money to get these assets, and there's not a lot of them, especially since Bitcoin is the most rarest asset out there as a monetary unit. So, yeah, prices are falling because people are afraid, and you'll see prices continue to fall, and the Fed continue to print in order to get those prices back up, and then eventually that's going to lead to hyperinflation.
Okay.
All right, next question.
This is from Super Google Lee that made a super chat. Thank you very much. If it drops to 1K Bitcoin, of course, can I buy 10 Bitcoin in one goal reaching my yearly target? Okay.
So if it drops to 10 to 1K,
To 1K, can I buy 10 Bitcoin in one goal reaching my yearly target?
can it
Well,
can
it wasn't a question. It was a comment.
can you reach your? I'm not sure if they're okay. Well, I don't know if that's gonna work. Probably, most likely. Let's just assume it does. All right, next question.
Next question. So this is from. Okay, this is a good one. This is from RJ. He says, when bank says sorry, your money is now our money, can't take any money out. What happens to people's personal debt?
A good question. That's a good question, and a lot of people have different answers to that. And the real thing is that here you will still have your debt. You will still need to pay your debt. Probably your high interest debt you'll be able to pay off with fiat with devaluated money during the hyperinflation. But probably your low interest debt you might get a shaft on that. But I don't know. I would say no at this point in time that you will. So let's just say, for example, you purchased an apartment building, right? And that apartment building gives you rent, right, to pay your debt because you borrowed the money to buy the apartment building. The question is, and you're assuming that, you know what? Let's just say you got this loan from the bank where, hey, you can hand over the keys. Should you not have enough money to pay your debt over on the pay your debt balance sheet? Now, assuming that that's the case, and you were able to continue paying your debt, you will most likely be able to pay pay off that debt on that large apartment building with devalued money. How much devalued? That remains to be seen, but basically you'll be able to pay it off with next to nothing if you own like gold as an offsetting asset or bitcoins as an offsetting asset once hyperinflation begins. Now there is a little bit of a caveat there, right? How do the banks? Because you know that the banks don't want the little guys to succeed, right? You're thinking, how can they screw you over on this deal, right? You're thinking, well, man, I'm loaded down with lots of money. I've got all these assets, right? Because I have a lot of people that have about 20% of my viewers have over $1 million in assets. And so you're thinking, well, how can I lose in this deal? There just doesn't seem to be a way to lose, right? Yes, there is, right? Because your debt is based off of functioning economy, meaning that people are able to pay their bills, meaning that people are able to go shopping and buy stuff at all times. And so what happens if your apartment building, your restaurant, your hotel, your house that you purchase as a rental property? What if the government decides that to suspend all rents or increase in rents, right? Then and you do not get a bailout. Consider that. What would happen then? You would have to hand the keys to the bank. And that's how they get us. Sad, isn't it, Inti?
Very much.
All right, next question.
Let's see. This is from. Let's see. Okay, this is for Daniel Broncoji, I think it's called. It says, I would like to know when Bitcoin gets to safe haven after this crash.
When does Bitcoin get to safe haven status after the crash? Not for Not for a long time, honestly, because it would have to we'd have to have but I would say about 20% of the population or something like that, 10 to 20% of the population using Bitcoin for it to stabilize to a point where, hey, you know what, this thing's not going to go like 100x up or 10x up, right? It's going to go up maybe 1x over 10 years or 4 years. Over 4 years, it's going to go up maybe 1x at most, right? Once it gets to that point, then it can be a reserve asset and take and people actually being using it as a safe haven. And at that point, you'll notice I think at the point where we're like 20% of the population using it, you won't be viewing it as dollars. You won't be viewing it priced in dollars or your local currency. You'll be using it as, well, how much is one Bitcoin? 100,000 sats. What do you mean, how much is one Bitcoin? Right? You'll be seeing it that way. Once you see it that way, the real value, you have to look at the value priced in other things such as gold, silver, and things you need in order to determine whether or not the value is going up or down. And if the prices of those assets are going down slowly and getting cut in half over every 4 years, you know that it is a solid asset and the world reserve currency asset. All right, next question.
Okay, this is from Gabriel Achau and says, what we want to know, Davinci, when do you think the dollar is going to collapse?
Okay, I would estimate, based on what Trump said, we got anywhere from 3 to 6 months. That I'm just gonna be straight. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. That's it. That's it.
That was like a pretty solid answer.
Right. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe till the end of this year, but sometime this year it's over. I would say the dollar will still be here, though. I mean, just not. It'll be different, right? Maybe we'll have a different currency or something like that. I don't know. But something at some point we're going to see something interesting. All right, next point. Next question.
This is from Brother John. Davinci, so if hyperinflation is expected, then you should be buying gold for insurance and to hold purchasing power, no?
Yeah,
you can also buy toilet paper.
I don't know. Inti, tell us, was toilet paper ever an issue in the hyperinflations in Argentina? I don't know.
To be honest, I have no idea.
Okay.
I tell you what's not. Meat. There's always meat.
Yeah, okay.
Toilet paper, I have no idea.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't think the problem with, I understand the need to buy a lot of toilet paper. The reason why, when you think about it, right now, most of us are just reacting to the toilet paper thing because we saw that other people were doing it, right? I think that was mostly the reaction of people because they didn't know what to do, right? But maybe that reaction was the right one, because the problem is once production shuts down, right? We're not getting. There might be toilet paper being produced, but they might not have the cardboard that goes in the cardboard roll of the toilet paper. They might not have the plastic wrap that covers the whole rolls of the toilet paper. They might not have all this. They might not have the cardboard that in order to put the toilet paper inside the plastic rolled toilet paper sheets inside the cardboard box shipped to the grocery store. They might not have the pallets, the nails, all that in order to, or the machinery, the equipment to grease the machinery, the equipment to update the machinery and fix the machinery, right? Because of the global slowdown. So yeah. Probably end up being a good idea that everybody got a lot of toilet paper, and so that's my take on that. All right, so we got a super chat from Super Googly. Okay, you know what? You need to leave some super chats for other people. Okay.
Yeah, he has the monopoly already.
You got a monopoly of the super chats. Okay, why Why are people in the trading groups so negative and wish BTC goes to zero every day? Why even join such groups in the first place if they are so negative? Well, I don't know which groups you're going to, but maybe you should just not go there if they're so negative. Because like, here's the thing: we have if you want to join a group that's not negative and that's always about PMA, positive mental attitude, I think you should definitely join the rationalinvestor.com. Link in the description below on how to join that school, and then you'll be able to join that particular group of people. They're always positive, they're always looking to help each other, and that is the environment you need if you are learning to trade, right? You don't need negativity, people saying it's going to zero, it's going to zero.
Besides, let's say that you don't want to learn how to trade, or you already know. You can still pay the subscription. I don't know how much it is. $30 a month or something.
For what?
For the subscription normal to the Rational Investor.
I guess so. I think
and
so.
You can enjoy the screeners, the indicators, the library, the great community. So yeah, it's worth it.
All right, stop selling them.
Sorry, I love to do that. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and then of course there's my group as well. I'm like my group is just as friendly and positive as well. And so far we have a very small group of Pandora's Wallet subscribers. We have right now only 46 people in the group. So if you have subscribed to Pandora's Wallet and you're not inside of our Telegram group, just send an email to support@davincicodes.net, and yeah, we'll add you to the group, no problem. And look forward to seeing you there. Just subscribe. We're not right now for a limited time. We are not going to kick anybody off if you just purchase a 1 month subscription of Pandora's Wallet. So we're going to keep that as a limited time offer for the end of this month. You get unlimited access to our group, even if you just buy 1 month subscription of Pandora's Wallet. So check that out if you're interested in joining our trading group and our positive mental attitude group about trading both not only Bitcoin but altcoins as well. You'll also have access to my portfolio. You'll see how badly I'm doing, and you'll be able to see basically what assets, what cryptocurrencies I'm purchasing as well, to sell half on a double. All right. So with that said, one more question, and then we'll end this stream. So but before we get into that question, I wanted to say thank you everyone for watching. Please, there's 250 likes. I'd like everyone to hit the like button if you enjoyed this stream, right? Of course, if you didn't enjoy this stream, the other button works as well. But yeah, please hit the like instead.
There's 869 people watching this stream. Thank you very, very much, people.
Yes, thank you. All right, so what's the final question for today?
The final question. Let's see. Okay, this is from Lord B and says, you're always smiling and having a good mood. How do you do it? What is the secret to be happy in life?
What is the secret to be happy in life? Just to be happy, because there's no one else, nothing else outside of you. Like, for example, people always say you laugh at your own jokes, and you're always happy. And the reason why I'm happy, because I choose to be, not because something else outside made me happy. Nothing outside can change the way you feel, because you get to choose how you feel. And so choose to be happy. Right? And that's it. And you will be happy, and it's so cool. And you'll always feel like life's great. And you know what? Children have this ability, and it gets beaten out of them. Like, for example, if you ever go to Venezuela, you'll see serious despair, but also you'll see serious joy in children. And because they don't have no concept of how bad things are, because they don't know about how bad things are. So they're just having a good time. And they choose to have a good time because they don't know anything. Now, If they knew something and then somebody told them how bad it is and then told them it was bad, they might choose to be sad, right? Because that's the natural reaction to environmental stimulus as a person, as an individual. When you hear something bad, you feel bad, and you want to sympathize as well with the person explaining to you what's going on. So you don't want to say, okay, well, I'm not going to feel bad about it, because you're going to sound like a jerk if somebody tells you something like, oh, my friend died, right? And you go, well, let's party for yeah, you know what I mean? You're going to sound like a jerk. But at the same time, you can't, right? You don't want those things to define those feelings, those sad feelings that you're trying to sympathize with that person, to bring down your life. And so I suggest you always look for the positive, and even if you have to keep the positive to yourself from time to time, it's the best thing for you to do, and makes your life a whole lot better if you're happy. And even at the worst times, right, you can be happy. All right, so choose to be happy. Yes, choose to be happy. Cheers. All right, thank you. With that said, thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments, right, on my channel here. I really appreciate everybody watching. And I hope you learned something. I hope you got something today. And I really hope that the information that I provided about the virus, about slowing down the virus, really helps everyone here, and nobody catches this virus. Or if they do catch the virus, that it's not severe, and you're part of the 80% that doesn't get a severe reaction. And so with that said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Cheers.
Cheers, people. Goodbye.